Welcome to Frederick at its best. I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner, and we're very excited to be here today to proclaim a Fire Prevention Month. And fire prevention is really very important in our community. As you may be aware, deaths from fires and burns are the third leading cause of fatal home injury. Smoking is the leading cause of fire-related deaths. And cooking is the primary cause of residential fires. So for everybody who's out there cooking dinner, they have to pay attention to what they're doing. And alcohol contributes to about 40% of residential fire deaths. Most victims of fires actually die from the smoke or from inhaling toxic gases rather than from burning. Are you aware that fires shown in movies and television for entertainment can leave the wrong impression about the speed at which fires grow and the amount of time it takes to escape your home or the building that you're in? This can cause people to underestimate the danger of fire and cause them to make bad decisions in the event of a fire. Some groups are at higher risk for fire-related injuries and deaths. These groups include children age 4 and under, adults age 65 and older, people living in poverty, people living in rural areas, and residents of manufactured homes. So what can you do? Prepare your family. You'll hear more today from our firefighters and first responders and people who have dedicated themselves to fire prevention, actions you can take to reduce the chances of a fire-related tragedy. But here's a few key pointers. Teach your children that they should get immediately out of a building if they see a fire. And they should call 911 from a safe place, not from necessarily the building that they're in. And all families should have a fire escape plan, and they should practice it with their family. They should show children how to crawl low on the floor so they're below the smoke so they can get out of the house. And teach children not to hide from firefighters or from fires. There are a lot of children who would go under their bed or into a closet, and that's not where we want them to go. We want them to exit their house. And have a safe place, a safe distance from the house where family members can meet and count for each other. And I can't stress enough again, practice your plan. I know when my children were small, I taught them, how to take the screen out of the window and how to get out of the house. And it was important, for them to actually practice that. Make sure you have a working smoke alarm on every level of your home and at each sleeping area of your home, and familiarize your children with the sound of your smoke alarm. It certainly is very loud, having heard the smoke alarm in my own house. Check your alarms regularly and replace the batteries at least once each year. Smoke alarms themselves should be replaced after 10 years. It's also recommended that people install carbon monoxide detectors, and that parents keep matches and lighters in secure drawers or cabinets away from their children. And you need to teach your children not to play with fire, matches, or lighters. And you need to make sure you monitor your children so that they're not trying to play with fire. Fire Prevention Month is a great time to learn more about how you and your family or your business can prevent fires and keep yourselves safe. Now, we have a number of people here that will speak to Fire Prevention Month, but I want to specifically acknowledge and congratulate the Frederick County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Fire Safety and Injury Prevention Chair, Sherry Soper, because she received the Excellent Life Safety Educator of the Year Award on Tuesday, September 29th, while attending the Mid-Atlantic Life Safety Conference in Laurel, Maryland. So way to go, Sherry. We're very proud of you. I saw that on Facebook, and I knew I had to mention that today. So I'd like to read the proclamation, and then I'll pass the microphone. Whereas Frederick County is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting the county, fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the location where people are at greatest risk from fire. And whereas home fires killed 2,755 people in the United States in 2013, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to 369,500 home fires. And whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half, but 3 out of 5 home fire deaths result in properties without working fire alarms. In 1/5 of all homes with smoke alarms, none are working. When smoke alarms should have operated but did not do so, it was usually because the batteries were missing, disconnected, or dead, highlighting the importance of checking your batteries every year. Whereas residents should install smoke alarms in every sleeping room, outside each separate sleeping area, and on every level of their home. Also, residents should install smoke alarms and alert devices that meet the needs of people who are deaf or hard of hearing. The 2015 Fire Prevention Week theme, Hear the Beep Where You Sleep, Every Bedroom Needs a Working Smoke Alarm, effectively serves to remind us that we need working smoke alarms to give us the time to get out of our homes safely. And whereas residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. Half of home fire deaths result from fires reported at night between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. when most people are asleep. And whereas Frederick County's first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. Now, therefore, as the County Executive of Frederick County, Maryland, I hereby proclaim October 2015 as Fire Prevention Month in Frederick County and commend this observance to all of our citizens. And I ask you to observe it by checking your smoke alarm and by practicing your fire escape plan with your family. With that, I'll pass the microphone. I'm going to give it first to Sherry Soper.
Thank you, County Executive Gardner. It's a pleasure to be here today, and Jan hit a lot of good points. And like she said, the theme this year for Fire Prevention Month, which is set by NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, is Hear the Beep Where You Sleep, have a working smoke alarm in every bedroom. As everybody knows, some people sleep very soundly and they might not hear a smoke alarm go off that's in the hallway. So they're suggesting that you take a ruler, measure 12 inches down the wall over your bed and put a smoke alarm over the headboard, because a lot of people do sleep very soundly. We are currently working with the American Red Cross and installing smoke alarms in Frederick County. I attended a conference last March, and we heard a speaker from the Red Cross. They are estimating they're going to put across the country 2.5 million smoke alarms in homes that either don't have them or need replaced. And we're working with them right now in Frederick County to take care of that. If anyone out there can't afford to buy a smoke alarm and needs one, you can call our smoke alarm hotline at 301-600-7275, and you leave your name, address, and phone number, and someone will get back to you. I just want to tell all the citizens out there to practice fire safety every day and make Frederick County a fire-safe community. Good.
Thank you, Sherry, and let me offer my congratulations to Sherry on her state award. Sherry's one of these people that works in the background of our service, but believe me, it's a tireless effort. It's something that she is so passionate about, and she is an absolute treasure for Frederick County Fire and Rescue and the work that she does for us. So Sherry, congratulations. We are a combination fire rescue system in Frederick that combines both volunteer and career people to deliver the service to the county and its municipalities. And you see here gathered on the stage with the county executive a very good representative group of both our volunteer leadership as well as our career personnel. And while we pause to emphasize that the month of October is Fire Prevention Month, it's really important for our citizens to understand that fire prevention is really a year-round practice that our citizens need to make sure that they heed. In simple terms, you are the person that is most responsible for your safety and the safety of your family. And the best form of fire safety is to be proactive in preventing a fire from starting. And this begins with understanding where most fires occur. And you heard the executive mention several things, and I'll just emphasize a couple. First is, most people feel they're safe in their home, but it's really the most dangerous place when it comes to fire death and fire injury. The executive mentioned that cooking is the leading cause, and it's about 45% of all home fires begin in the kitchen. And it's a very simple thing to make sure that you are remaining in your kitchen while you are using your cooking appliances. And that's really what we find is the leading factor, is that people leave their cooking unattended and something goes wrong, and before they can recover, the kitchen is ablaze. Smoking also accounts for 23% of all fire deaths, yet it's only 5% of home fires. So while smoking as a fire cause is relatively low, it really accounts for the majority of the people who are killed in home fires as a result of improperly discarded smoking materials is usually the leading factor. The message is simple: smoking in the home puts you at greater risk of dying in a home fire. The season is changing. We're coming into the heating season now, and 16% of all home fires occur because of either faulty or improper use of heating equipment. This is the time of year when I hope our citizens will be contacting their heating and ventilation companies and having them come in to do a good service of their heating equipment and make sure that it's in safe working order as we move into the heating system. And then it's not uncommon, and in fact very prevalent in Frederick, that people use alternative sources of heat, such as their fireplaces, wood stoves, space heaters, kerosene heaters, and things of that nature. These are certainly safe appliances when they are used properly and they are well maintained. So follow your manufacturer's recommendation, and for any alternative appliance, you really need to keep at least 3 feet of clearance from any other combustible material when it's in use. And finally, you've heard a lot about smoke detectors, and it really is the most effective tool in giving you the time that you need to escape when a fire does occur. Sherry mentioned calling the county's hotline if you need assistance, or visit your local fire station. That's another way that you can make your need known, and the county will certainly provide you with assistance in meeting that need. I want to thank the county executive for certainly taking the time on her schedule to pause and communicate the importance of this message to our community. And I want to thank the partners that you see here, and they'll introduce themselves in a minute. But it is a team effort here in Frederick, and we're certainly very proud of the effort. So let me turn to Chief Jewell. My partner is the chief of our volunteer fire rescue services.
Thank you, Chief. And let me also echo my congratulations to Sherry for her excellent work in fire and life safety education. And she's the second person from Frederick County to win that award, by the way. Judy White, who is also with us, was a recipient several years ago. So we're very proud of the activities that they do, not only in Frederick County, but really statewide. People ask me, and I'm always looking for the history, why is this week Fire Prevention Week? Well, this was the week of the Great Chicago Fire. And the larger fire, as far as fatalities, in Prestego, Wisconsin, occurred at the same time. So that's the reminder, because essentially the 2 largest fires in our history occurred during this week. Oddly enough, the Chicago Fire Department training facility is located on the grounds of Mrs. O'Leary's barn. So there is a little bit of irony in that. Frederick County has truly been a leader in fire and life safety. Not only do we have 2 individuals that have been outstanding fire and life safety educators, Sherry mentioned we are very aggressively working with the American Red Cross and smoke alarm distribution in our communities. We were one of the first counties in the country to have a residential sprinkler ordinance, and we were one of the first counties in the country to have text to 911 so the deaf and hearing impaired would have access to emergency services. So I'm very proud to be a part of the team that you see, and very proud to be a part of our service and a part of our county. Thank you, Executive.
Good afternoon. I'm Tom Coe, the Acting Deputy Chief of Emergency Services for the Division of Fire and Rescue Services.
And I'm Steve Leatherman. I'm the Acting Deputy Chief of Administrative Services for the Division of Fire and Rescue.
Kenny Poole, Battalion Chief with the Office of the Fire Marshal.
Dave Keller, Trustee with the Citizens Truck Company.
Good morning. I'm Susan Hilton. I'm the Miss Fire Prevention for the state of Maryland, and it is my goal to make sure that every citizen in the state of Maryland is fire safe each and every day. Along with County Executive, it is our goal that this month and this week that we make sure that people plan and prevent and prepare for the life emergency of a fire. And also just remember to hear the beep where you sleep. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Richard Bear. I work at Citizens Truck Company number 4.
I'm Scott Mashandy, firefighter, fire and rescue.
Kyle Wagner, Citizens Truck Company, Station 4.
I'm Debbie Fox. I'm a volunteer at the Wolfsville Volunteer Fire Company and a trustee on the executive board for Frederick County Volunteer Fire and Rescue.
Good morning, Judy White. I'm Secretary of the Frederick County Volunteer Fire Rescue Association and currently am the Fire Prevention Chairperson for Citizens Truck Company. I'm happy to see so many of them here. And a couple of things have already been mentioned today, and that's teamwork. First of all, one of your best teams can be a working smoke alarm coupled with residential sprinklers. And I am proud to say that My husband and I had our house retrofitted with residential sprinklers, and of course we have some working smoke alarms. The other team effort is Park and Rec was here, and they have invited Citizens Truck Company to participate in their event on October 23rd. So we will be out and visible and spreading additional information regarding fire safety education. Thank you.
And last but not least, hi, I'm Joyce Walker-Schrei. I am the volunteer recruiter for Frederick County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Services. We are always proactively looking for volunteers in our combined system to help save our residents of Frederick County. We are looking for both firemen, EMTs, administrative, and non-operational folks. Please stop by, give me a call at my number at 301-600-2281, or stop by your local fire station and see if there's anything you can help them with, because you are definitely needed and we want to be one major team. Thank you.
Well, thank you all for joining us today to proclaim October as Fire Prevention Month. It is very important for all of our citizens to take the actions they need to prevent a fire. That's really the first best course of action to make sure that your family and your business stays safe. I do want to thank all the people here who will respond if there's any kind of an emergency in our community. You know, I always say I hope I never have to call 911, but I'm glad that 911 and our fire and EMS teams are there to support our community. It's a really part of good government and how we provide service to our citizens. So we ask you to join us in observing Fire Prevention Month by checking your smoke alarm, making sure your family has a plan, and for contacting us if you need more information or need a smoke detector. So thank you for joining us. We're happy to acknowledge October as Fire Prevention Month for the best of Frederick.